Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to give you guys a small little update on my int accuracy stacking Cyan. Since I made the first video like a couple days ago and I said like I need to upgrade this, I need to upgrade that, I'm still trying to figure out what about this, what about that defense, that offense, you know, like just juggling around. And now a couple days later I have made some upgrades, like not everything. This chest needs to be crafted, the ring needs to be replaced, the amulet is still the same shit, you know. But we finished the boots, we finished the belt, we're now having a pretty decent wand as well. And I was still doing like a bunch of changes, not joking, I spent probably over 2,000 regrets on this character. One side trying this mana reservation thing, then going down here to the point blank note, then feeling like, I don't want to do this, but I needed the spell suppression, but then I'm like, I can get spell suppression maybe somewhere else, and I'm like juggling left and right and just trying out what is the best way. Now even playing with a double small cluster jewel setup with mana reservation efficiency, because I want to make this video as like a comparison video. What was the last video's state and what is the current version, right? And where do they differ and what do I think is better and so on. But overall, I would say we finally cracked the 1500 intelligence, which is actually so bad if you think about it. Like good instackers, you know, 2000 something intelligence, so you still see how much room for improvement is there. But anyways, we're just gonna run a quick little map here, because currently I'm farming up to Delve 600, which is one of the endgame grinds here, right? That's what I'm currently doing. I think I'm somewhere 300, whatever, I think, 345, so we are like a good halfway through, but I'm also like, I'm not just rushing down, I'm just like farming currency, you know, doing all the Delve cities that I can find. Here were like so many Delve cities and good nodes, and I'm just like grinding currency, right? I did like 2 owls, 2 eligious, 1 architect, all of them were deathless first try. So I'm really like confident in like the way the build is going. It can have more damage, it should have more damage, but yeah, it's a work in progress, right? If you're interested in my current Atlas farming, there is nothing special, you know. All I do right now is just like having a chill mapping setup. That means I have like delirium, I have like strong boxes, some essences, some shrines, some like everything that is just in my map that doesn't involve any content, which is like leak content, right? I block literally almost everything besides harvest and mirror, right? These are the only 2 things that I'm currently running because I just want to have a chill setup. I took all the Nico nodes, I'm getting the most out of it. So it takes like, I don't know, 6-7 maps or so, and my cart is full. And the way I'm running the maps, I'm just like popping my red sentinel in the start, so that the first monsters are obviously a bit tankier than the other ones, right? But I think this build is getting better by the day, and this is like the thing that I so like about stat stacking builds. If you're permanently grinding, if you're permanently getting the currency in, and you notice and feel that your character is actually getting stronger every single day, and you have like this, how would you call it, the good feeling of every time you finish an item for your build, you know? Like one time I got like a good cluster jewel and it made me allow to reserve more things, you know. Then one time I finished my wand, which is like almost double the DPS than what I had before. Another day, you know, I finished my belt. I finally was able to hit like T1 energy shield, and now I'm just like getting the belt enchant done with the accuracy per if you have onslaught, right? And since we're raider, we have onslaught. So it's the thing, like every day when I'm grinding, or every second day, there is like 1 or 2 small little upgrades, some little details that I'm adding, and I think I really start to like where the build is going. I can do all the content. I still have not done another simulacrum, even though I would be confident enough, since we have like twice as much tankiness compared to the last video, that I'll be able to do it. But you know, at the moment I'm just grinding Delve, and once the Delve grind is done, once I'm Delve 600, I'm skipping the ritual, by the way, just to have the video a little bit shorter here. Once I have the Delve 600 done, then I will most likely gonna go and try the next couple Uber bosses, because for me, the goal for my build is to do all content, and this also includes all the Uber Pinnacle bosses. I tried one Uber Pinnacle boss a couple days ago. It was a complete mess. Like, I had no fucking chance. It was not Shaper Elder or something. It was the Uber Exarch. And as far as I heard, it should be one of the hardest, if not the hardest. And for the boss, I'm just using the yellow one, the yellow sentinel, to empower this dude up. Just because I'm farming the challenges, right? So these bosses actually get like pretty tanky, but absolutely no problem. Usually just a face tank style, right? And this is like the challenge where you do tier 16 bosses with at least 50 empowerment. So I just checked that my yellow sentinel has more than empowerment 50. And every time I meet the boss, you know, first I start the map, red sentinel, just clear my way up. And once we start the boss, then we use the yellow one, and every single map I'll get one more completed. It's like 122 to go. And then it's pretty much where we want to with finishing the challenge. I would say let's do a quick delve node so you see how delving at the moment looks like. Let's do a triple sulfite node here, or azurite node. Always mix those two up. But I'm just enjoying this build. That's all I can say. And the way I built my character is just different from the usual instacker. Main reason for that is damage versus tankiness. So in the past, when I played instacking or something like that, you know, these characters, they do have like, I don't know, 12, 13, 15,000 energy shield, but it is all their defense. They do not have evasion, they do not have armor, they don't have anything of that, right? What it makes it different to my version with running the Stormstrider boots means I get the extra damage from the same kind of gearing, but I also get like twice as much evasion out of my Shaper's Touch gloves, right? So I think if I unequip them with flasks up, I have like 80,000 evasion, and unequipped it's like 40,000. So they literally double my evade chance, which in my opinion is a very good tankiness aspect. And on top of that, if you would run rare gloves, they might have more damage than my Shaper's Touch, but you know, my Shaper's Touch give me 40,000 evasion, and I would rather have that. On top of that, if you say like, if you want to have the biggest damage, if you go PoE Ninja and just check instackers, they all run Berserk as the sub ascendancy, right? And then use a Berserk gem to boost up their damage. In my opinion, that's like not really good, because as long as you're not Berserk, you know, like an actual Berserk coming from a Rod or not the Scion one, you don't have consistent rage uptime. And this is just like, in my opinion, cheating DPS. And I don't want to have like a character that just looks good or like has a lot of DPS on PoE Ninja or something. I don't care about that, right? What I care is a character that has a good offense, a good defense, can do all content, and has all the quality of life that I want to, like, you know, phasing, onslaught, like a good movement speed, good clearing, a lot of projectiles, a very, like, quality of life gameplay where I don't have to worry about anything. I even replaced my, Ice Golem. The Ice Golem for accuracy stacking version is very strong. Like, you know, get like 30% increased accuracy rating, and with the, I think like the alternate quality, you even get, increased effect of that. So yeah, popping the Ice Golem into my build gives me like, I don't know, a couple million DPS. It is insane. And I have it this way. But the problem is, you know, I know from myself that I never really summoned this dude because, you know, I summon him in the start of the map, I run into the first big pack, my Sentinel empowers the monster, and the Golem is dead. You know, so what is a realistic uptime of this dude? You know, it can have the best damage increase ever. I mean, when I meet the map boss or something, you know, I always spawn him and try to, like, kill him up the map boss instantly, right? But once you go for the Uber bosses and stuff, the Golem is permanently dead. And this is, for me, a thing where I would say it looks good in PoE, like, for example, I show you that, right? This is the current PoE that I have, so I have here my second one. This is the one from last week, so we can like compare the stats a little bit, what changed and so on, right? But if I would just say, you know what, we're gonna go Berserk, so I'm just adding Berserk, and I'm getting from 14 mil DPS to 20 mil DPS, you know? Oh, that's insane. Yo, let's add an Ice Golem. I think summon Ice Golem with the alternate quality, which is buff effect. Oh, I'm on 21 million, you know, but those two sources are not really reliable DPS for me. So if I skip those, it looks worse because, yo, now I only have 14 mil. But the thing is, those 14 mil is real DPS. This is something that I have all the time. No matter if I'm mapping, if I'm bossing, whatever I do, I have this. While this is just like conditional, and I don't like conditional stuff, right? As long as like, if you're not like an actual Berserk with war cries and stuff where you actually have like an 80% uptime on Berserk. Other than that, I would just not count this one in. But it counts in PoE Ninja, so, you know, a lot of people use that. But as I say again, I don't want to build a build that just looks good on stats and stuff, and that like being rank 1 on PoE Ninja or some shit, you know. I want to have a nice character, and that has also a lot of defense, you know? Like, as I said before, right now I'm running like 40,000 evasion, and with my flasks up, it's even like 60,000 and 25,000 armor, and without Shaper's Touch, I'm having 30k. So literally, the Shaper's Touch double my evasion, even though they give me less damage overall, but it's fine, you know? Like, my build is doing absolutely fine, and we're still missing like 600-700 intelligence out of like a couple of sources, right? Good. Then I would say, what did change? What items did we change? And how does the POB look like, right? For the first thing, one thing I want to mention here right away. In my previous version, I had like awakened level 6 gems, right? And I had like a level 21 power siphon and stuff. But I got rid of a lot of stuff. I played other characters in the meanwhile, and then I came back to this character, and instead of like buying all the gems again, I was like crafting a wand, you know, I was almost finishing my ring, I bought a nice belt for like ailment avoidance, you know, I was like sticking the currency into other places, right? And not investing too much into like awakened gems, because I know I'm gonna delve a lot, I'm gonna level those up myself. But this is just also a reason why the current version has a little bit less DPS than the one before, even though we have like a way better wand, for example, right? Good, let's take a look at the POBs, what they change on the stat wise. So the old version is the one on the right here, right? And the new version is the left one. So we are basically losing 1,000,000 DPS. As I said, this might be just because we have what is it? I think like even intelligence is kind of the same, but what they change, we have a lot less skill points attached to the cluster jewels, as well as we are not having all the level 620. In this version, I'm actually running Berserk as far as I remember. I'm pretty sure Warbanner, Shield Charge, Hydrosphere. Almost certainly sure that in this version I also ran Burst. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But it's a similar DPS. Then, next thing about the effective hit pool. The old version, 60k. The new version, 130k. So we doubled our tankiness while maintaining our damage, basically. And the way that I did that is that I opted in now, instead of War Banner that gives me accuracy rating, I now run Defiance Banner that I have somewhere, I guess. Here, Defiance Banner, because of the increased armor and evasion. And I also run Determination now. So the thing is, before I ran Determination, I had like my 60,000 evasion, I have like 87% evade chance, you know, and I can like stand in everything and just never get hit, right? But sometimes you get hit, and what happens when I get hit, I'm just instantly one-shot. And I was like, how can I like improve this, right? And since I don't have any armor, and I was even thinking about going into something like Iron Reflexes to just convert my evasion into armor, but I'm still a fan of evade, because if like you get hit 20 times, you know, and there's only like a couple, like 3-4 hits going through, and you just ignored all the monster damage from that part, right? If I would just go Iron Reflexes and convert all my evasion into armor, I'm like super tanky when it comes to physical or on hit damage. Physical damage basically, but I will get hit all the time, you know, and that's why I think like it's better for me as of right now to just have my insane amount of evasion, plus having like a 20 or 30,000 armor with my armor flask over here, right? And since we're running now Defiance Banner and the Divergent Determination, which always benefits our evasion as extra armor and so on, we're actually getting a nice amount. Like with Flask, 25,000 armor, 80% phys damage mitigation against like smaller hits, and 60,000 evasion rating. And since I've done this change, I think in like 2 or 3 days of like purely mapping and delving, I think I haven't even died a single time. At least I cannot remember. And it starts to really feel good on that part. I just don't know if 25,000 armor is good, or is it like something that you can forget about, you know? Because the problem is the investment. So if you take a look at the current tree that I'm running here a double mana reservation efficiency cluster, as well as I had to go away from the bottom side here just to get like the sovereignty nodes here, and so I have like 1-2 setups plus the small clusters to reserve the amount of armors, because I'm running the Wrath, I'm running Determination, I'm running Grace on an Enlighten, as well as I'm running Discipline, Anomalous Defiance Banner, and Precision. So there is like so many auras, so I had to just build around this entire thing of the mana reservation efficiency. And in the end of the day, I'm still not 100% sure if this is the way to go or if it's not, because as I said, with like building a really good character, it involves like the defense, the offense, the movement speed, the clearing speed, and all of these kind of sources, right? So for me, something like facing or ailment immunity or what is the next thing? Spell suppression cap. These are all things that I just want to have in my character. I don't care about the damage part, you know? I'm pretty sure I will have enough damage to clear all content, but I also want to just have this like super lazy face tank approach to it, right? And for being like Cyan, I choose to go for Raider that has spell suppression, that gives me onslaught, that gives me facing, you know, and the spell suppression part is the hard part now. So I'm currently on my version, I'm running 61%. That's like super low, right? But what I need to do is to get down here again to the innervate node, because this is like 30 spell suppression on its own, and then I would be 90%, and then I would simply just go to the crafting bench and sacrifice the 6 attributes craft to get the spell suppression craft over here, right? And then I would be 100% spell suppression cap. Yes, I lose a little bit of damage. That's, you know, you always have to like juggle defense, offense, but I just want to have the 100% spell suppression, you know? And the way that I want to achieve this on the next part is I need to go down here. So maybe like Sovereignty, maybe... Depends, maybe I can just go other routes as well if I get better mana reservation efficiency and stuff. But these points over here should actually be the one down here. And the reason why I have this one here, the Green Nightmare, this is just the purpose is Frenzy Charge on Kill that gives me this node over here. So what am I referring to that? So basically my Raider Ascendancy that I have over here, my Forbidden Flame Flash, this gives me Raider, and Raider basically gives me, I think it was like 10% chance to gain a Frenzy Charge if you hit a rare or unique enemy. So realistically, on bosses I couldn't sustain that, but on just mapping I cannot, and this is the problem. So, for example, you have a big pack of monsters, right? There is one rare monster in there, and you just throw in one kinetic blast and everything blows up in one shot, you know? So you hit this monster one single time, and there was a 10% chance to maybe get a Frenzy Charge. So only 1 out of 10 packs that I kill will give me a Frenzy Charge. And what I noticed was that I'm just mapping, and I just permanently run out of Frenzy Charges. But I do not want to have this, because since I'm Raider Sub-Ascendancy, as long as I have full Frenzy Charges, I have Onslaught, which is more speed. And once I have Onslaught, I also get the Accuracy rating, which is more damage. So I need to find a way to get Frenzy Charge on kill. And the easiest way would be get in a Blood Rage, you know? But the problem is I don't really have a lot of regen, and Blood Rage would just, like, degen me over time, you know? And I just don't like this, you know? Like, but it would be the easiest way, right? The next way would be adding, there is multiple ways, but I just don't want to spend a lot of points. I don't want to waste an anointment, for example, because I could always, like, go to, like, Disciple of Slaughter, for example, you know? But Tranquility is just such a good anoint, so I don't want to waste it. As of right now, the cheapest solution was the Green Nightmare, because the Green Nightmare says, besides the cold is extra chaos, which is completely useless, but it also says, passive granting cold resistance or all resistance in radius grant you an equal chance to gain a Frenzy Charge on kill. So this node gives all res, so this gives me 8 Frenzy Charge on kill, and this is my current solution. What would I like to have? I'm currently spamming this ring to get crit multi-intelligence with an open suffix, so then suffix cannot be changed, and Veiled Chaos Orb to gain the Aisling minimum Frenzy Charge, because this mod comes with, exactly, a chance to gain a Frenzy Charge and kill. Once I have that, I can replace all of these points, because I don't even think that the overcharge is actually too necessary. It depends, like, I need to, like, go further, right? But once I can get rid of that one, I can get back my spell suppression, and then I'm also spell suppression capped, right? So this is like, this build starts to, like, evolve in something really insane, and I'm really enjoying the journey. But I also know, okay, this is the next step, here's the next step, there is the next step, and, you know, I cannot, like, deliver a full package of a build as long as it didn't do all the content and I'm not satisfied with it, right? As I said, I really like this build and I want to push it even further. but this is the current state of the art. That's why the video is like an update video, just to let you guys know. As I said, I could easily like double or even triple my DPS if I do like fake DPS, if I just get rid of determination and grace and get like other damaging auras and stuff like that. Maybe even go berserk, throw in an ice golem, throw in berserk, all of these kind of things, and all of a sudden I have 40 million DPS, but my character will be only half as good as the current version. Good. The PUB of this is in a link in the description below if you want to check it out. But for the items, so we go over that, the MTX and so everything, you know, like it's all listed in the last video for the explanation. So I just want to like quickly go over the items that have changed, and then we're gonna quit the video on this part, and then I'm just gonna continue like upgrading and trying to figure out the best way possible. But I just want to take you guys along with the journey, right? So what changed? The helmet, obviously, the wand. So the way I did that is basically that I Awakener orbed the Elder spell damage mod with the Hunter lightning damage mod, and then just prefix cannot be changed, veiled chaos orb for the Ellie pen. So the perfect wand, I think, would be or at least T1 lightning damage with a double spell damage and lightning damage thing, right? But once I plug this one into PUB, the pen with my current version, probably because of the Storm Rider boots, the pen is more damage than T1 lightning damage. And this wand is comparable to a mirror tier wand. Just that this version cost me like, I don't know, 15x or so, because I needed a couple of Awakener orbs and I did not hit the veiled Ellie pen on the first try, you know, so it was a couple of tries. But this wand, I don't know, like 20x if you're unlucky, right? But 20x is not a mirror, and if I think about Ellie pen, really good stat, even better at the moment of my build than the flat lightning damage. We have the lightning damage to attacks, the spell damage, and then we have crafted attack speed and crit strike chance. You know, what else do I want to have? Like, obviously I could prefix cannot be changed, reforge suffix in harvest to get T1 attack speed, and then aceling, or like, I don't know, like, but this version was like 25x with like the the Awakener orb, the multi-mod, all of that. And I know this is probably only like 5% worse than a mirror tier wand. So I'm just gonna stay with this. This is all already my end game weapon. So I'm not gonna change this weapon. And I know that this weapon will be good enough to do all the content, right? So I always want to try to finish one item and then just go from there. My helm is a worse state than it was before because the old version, in the old video, it also had the power siphon enchant that I currently don't have because I didn't have the currency to buy a new one because I sold it off for investing into another build, right? Then the ring, there's basically the same essence multiplier crafted to hit T1 intelligence. I even hit T1 accuracy, so I kept this ring. And what I did afterwards, same thing. Suffix cannot be changed. And then veiled chaos orb for any prefix, or because I think I wanted to have the minus mana cost or something with the veiled chaos orb, because the less mana it costs, the better it scales with attack speed. Because at the moment I only can like hit like 5-6 times and then I run out of mana, as long as I'm not hitting something, because obviously I have mana leech, right? But I'm just saying, because of the attack damage leeches mana from Crown of Ice. But the less mana cost, maybe I can even reserve more or less, or I don't know, maybe get in a Vitality on top of it, like who knows, right? But as of right now, I filled up all the prefixes, so that means I'm currently waiting for a harvest suffix, like reforge, prefix, keep suffix, so I get the open prefix, then I can keep on going with the suffix cannot be changed, veiled chaos orb, try to hit the mana, and then just craft energy shield, and this ring is done for me, right? This ring haven't changed, the amulet doesn't change. Getting a good, or at least a decent instacker amulet is quite easy, but I probably the Astramentis will be the last thing I'm gonna add, because as soon as I unequip it, all my gear is red, because I have no strength whatsoever because of my the Transcendent Flesh combo over here, because they give me minus strength, here is minus strength, so I need, like, before the weapon, this one has also like 24 strength, but in the end of the day, I was like so low on strength that I couldn't even get, so if I would switch the Astramentis away for any like spell damage or int attributes amulet, you know, it would be good for damage and for ES and everything, but then I need to figure out how do I get 90 dexterity and 60 strength, and that will come from my large cluster jewels, so I need to find cluster jewels that have the attributes that I need, you know, so the Astramentis actually is still a good item just because it fixes all my stat requirements for the testing of determination and so on. I'd rather invest into a ring first. The belt I kind of finished. At least I bought a new base that was like 40 exalts. It was literally in a week of life searching the only base that had intelligence and avoid elemental ailments. And so I'm ailment immune now. Then I essence spammed with the intelligence one, tried to hitting double res. This is already perfect just because the item, the belt is item level 83, and in order to get T1 resistance, you need item level 84, I think. So T2 is the highest that it can get. And yes, it misses a stat. It would probably be ready for an aceling on the prefix and try to get like flask effect duration or anything like that on top of a crafted LE damage with attacks, because you cannot even get a T1 LE damage to attacks because you need item level 86 for that. And then for the flasks, I opted in with the transforming of determination. I also got the granite flask to make my armor even look better than it is, right? And as you see, I have 500 armor in total, and when I get in my auras, you know, all the auras here, as well as like the Defiance banner, it's just insane. Like the combo of determination, grace, and Defiance banner is so good in terms of tankiness, right? So I go from 500 to 8,500 with the determination. And then with Defiance banner, I'm even getting up to 13,000. So the Defiance banner with all this like increased evasion and armor and everything, like everything scales on each other because we're running the divergent determination. So the more evasion we have, the more armor we have, and so on, right? So if I just disable Grace over here, we're also gonna lose armor because of the divergent version, right? But yeah, and then I got a Molten Shell just to add like a little bit more tankiness, but it's not really too big. It's like a 4,000. I mean, if you have the flasks on, it's probably better. Let's assume we have flasks on with the Molten Shell. It's like a 7k shield on top of my tankiness already. So yeah, it is still work in progress. I would say I've talked enough. This is the current state that I'm working on. The next pieces are deciding on what does the skill tree look. I'm definitely sure that I want to go to the spell suppression to get the 100% spell suppression, and then see where we're going from there. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.